What is it? Show me. Good thing I brought my glasses today.
I know.
This will be too dense. What's that for?
Makes it bigger.
Oh, really?
Bigger. Control class.
All right.
We're all having vision
so nice.
problems.
We'll go in closed session after all.
I love it.
At the end, yes, we're going to.
How you doing, already? Oh my gosh, what happened?
An extra.
Or it's not doing it for me.
Oh no! What happened?
It's because I'm on low energy mode, maybe?
Black is it?
Oh.
My men.
Well, it says I'm on. It says SOS, so I'm not.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
No internet connection.
where I'm supposed to read. I walked right into that, so.
Oh, look at that. It works good.
Does work good, doesn't it?
It was, you know,
Lauren?
just busy just because
I was left.
Wait, so we're doing.
Maybe that was that. That was
it has been great. But it worked out for the whole week because there's just so much.
All right, I'm ready. You guys ready?
Ready?
We're ready.
Ready.
I call this meeting to order. Could we all rise for the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we all remain standing for a moment of reflection for all those in harm's way and all our military at home and abroad. And thank you. Okay. Statement of advance notice. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey have been satisfied by the inclusion of the date, time, and place of this meeting in the notice of regular meetings adopted by this board on January 6, 2005. Such schedule and notice of meetings is posted at the municipal building, the Mount Olive Library, the Board of Education offices, and the 6 schools. Was submitted to the Daily Record for publication on January 7, 2025, and was filed with the clerk of Mount Olive Township on January 8, 2025. I direct that this announcement be entered into the minutes of this meeting. And can we take a roll call, please?
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Fenton?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera? Mrs. Fitzgerald? Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo?
Here.
And we are going to actually rearrange the order of our meeting, and we are actually going to move our reports and discussions to the top. So, student liaisons, you're up first. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nor Rizk, and I'm the Mount Olive High School Board of Ed Liaison.
My name is Jake Hawthorne. I am the Student Council Secretary. So for old business, starting off on March 26th, the Student Council brought back Clash of Classes for the first time in quite a while, and it was a big success, especially considering it was the first time bringing it back since before the pandemic. The next day, March 27th, the Mount Olive High School hosted its Futures Fair, featuring colleges, vendors, and employers for students in our special needs program. Over the weekend of March 29th and 30th, HOSA attended their state leadership conference. On April 2nd, the Morris County School Board Association held a meeting at Morris Knolls to honor special unsung heroes. Mount Olive was proudly represented by Gianella Fano. During the week of April 1st through the 4th, senior prom tickets were sold. Meanwhile, over the weekend, April 3rd to the 5th, the Mount Olive High School Drama Club performed Grease and completely sold out the pack, the first time the entire theater had sold out in 12 years. The Drama Club had traveled to Bucks County Playhouse and earned several awards for both Grease and prom. On April 5th, the high school hosted the elementary school science fair featuring over 100 contestants. On April 8th, seniors held their community health advocacy night, and then the international extravaganza took place on April 11th with 15 different cultural performances and an amazing turnout. The Air Force Junior ROTC hosted their Raider Challenge on April 12th, finishing second place overall. They also held their annual reward ceremony on April 16th. Finally, the Mount Olive High School Key Club hosted its annual community Easter egg hunt.
Moving on to our new business, tomorrow at 6 p.m., the National English Honor Society will be hosting its annual poetry night where all the members will come and share their favorite poetry. The next day, on April 30th, we are going to have our Mount Olive High School Cares Fair, which is a way for the community to come see all the different clubs and learn more about our community. On April 30th as well, the Mount Olive Jazz Club will be having their last concert of the year, 6:30 in the PAC. And then starting May 1st, the NJSLA, ELA 9, and Science 11 will have their testing. On May 1st, the National Honor Society will have their induction ceremony for the 2025-2026 school year. And then on May 5th, our AP exams will begin, and Mount Olive High School will be giving 904 exams out to students. The same day, May 5th, we'll have the Share the Keys program for the upcoming seniors. Share the Keys is basically a way for upcoming seniors to learn more about road rules and safety before they're eligible for a parking spot. May 6th will be the Thespian Honor Society induction for the 2025-2026 school year. And then on May 7th, we will be hosting the Morris County School Boards Association, where they give out scholarships and awards to students. On May 8th, the anatomy classes will be taking a trip to Rutgers University for a cadaver lab. And on May 15th, Mount Olive will also be hosting a career fair for future students. May 16th, the Rock and Roll Academy will have their last concert of the year. They're really great, so make sure to go show up. And then May 17th, the Air Force Junior ROTC program will be having their military ball at the mansion. May 19th, our orchestra will be having their spring concert. And then on May 20th, we will be having our NJSLA math portion testing of the year. And then May 20th, the World Language Honor Society will be having their induction ceremony for the 2025-2026 school year. May 21st, our band will have their concert. And then lastly for May 22nd will be the senior prom at Meadowwood Manor. Thank you. Any questions?
Are there any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Lisa, you can't go to prom.
It's hard. How many days till the end of the school year?
I think there's like 30-something.
It's 28 school days.
Oh, he has it memorized.
That's a lot to fit in.
33.
Real short.
Okay.
A lot of
Who's counting?
information packed.
I figured by now somebody's counting.
There are like 4 Mondays left, 5 Mondays.
Oh my God, don't even say that. Anything
you.
else?
Anyone else from the board? No. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
If we don't see you
Thank
beforehand,
you.
thank you. Enjoy prom. And with that, we will move to superintendent's report.
Good
Dr.
evening.
Bandia.
We have a jam-packed superintendent's report, all exciting, good stuff. But we're going to do the best first. So I'm going to invite Ms. Colleen Souffle to the podium, and tonight we're going to be honoring our champion gymnastics team.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you again for the opportunity to come up to the Board of Education and honor our student athletes. We've been here once already this year to celebrate this incredible group of young women with fantastic coaches, and we are here today to give them a gift on behalf of the Board of Education for their incredible successes. One of the things that I think is really important to remember in the sporting world is that these girls were 3-time league champs, 3-time state sectional champs, and state champs. And the difference between their state championship compared to other programs is that whether you were in a enrollment of a 400 student school or a 4,000 group school, they competed against everybody. So it's every single gymnastics program in the state of New Jersey who competed for this championship, and Mount Olive took it home. So we are super proud of them and all of their efforts. I want to say a special thank you to our parents for their advocacy and their diligence in providing their daughters with an incredible experience. So thank you so much to the parents. Say a special thank you to our coaches. Without your vision, your effort, and your commitment to these young athletes, they would not be as successful as they are today. And of course, a special thank you to the Board of Education for your ongoing support of their mission. So thank you very much. I wanted to, when we kind of put them on the spot a little bit here, but I'm going to ask the two captains to come up. Megan, who is very upset we asked her to come up, and Natalie. So come on up. They're going to do a quick thank you. And along with their coaches, Hamilton and Neidhart. Here you go.
So we'd like to thank the Board of Education and the school administrators and the entire Mount Olive community for supporting our team. From coming to our home meets to cheer us on, to the fire truck escorts after our championship wins, to now giving us these beautiful state championship rings to always remember our incredible season. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you from the entire team.
I personally just want to give a quick thanks to all of the board members. We appreciate your support and recognition, and these girls wouldn't have been able to get these championship rings without your support. They worked very hard with it for this moment. We are 8 years in our program, so we're still even a fairly new program, so the fact that we are on top this season was amazing. The program is constantly changing, and these athletes are evolving both academically and athletically. Unfortunately, we have a few seniors that we're sad to see to go on to college. We have a bunch of athletes that are continuing in the acro and tumbling program in college, which is super exciting that gymnastics will continue for some of our Mount Olive athletes. But we do want to thank everyone. Colleen, thank you very much for your support. Dr. Bangia, all of the board members. I'm the only one that's seen the rings, so the girls haven't seen them. So I'm super excited for them to actually see them. And congratulations to all of you. We are so very, very proud of each of you.
Sure. Start here. Actually, you guys can call. Okay.
Okay, no specific order. Kelsey Colwell. You're not allowed to open them until you all see them together.
They should stay up there. Yeah, picture. Is that what she just said?
Lily Lajewski. Congrats. Lily. Natalie Watson, our captain this year. Congrats. Ella Friedman. Up next, we have Chloe DeToe. Our other captain this year, Megan Rodas. Not here today, but going to recognize Rebecca Scott. Jasmine Tongle. Our statistician, who's not here today as well, Lila Sterling. Kelly Hines. Charlotte Lenner. Carly Ferrick. Avery Schroeder. Lexi Zivek. And last but not least, Amy Rubenstein. Thank you very much. All right, ladies, are we ready for your reveal? They're in a box, in a box. Let's go. State champions, NJSIA, New Jersey State champions, Mount Olive Gymnastics. You may open your rings.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet. Oh, let me. Oh my God, I want to see it. I need to see them.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Wow, there's even a light.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Nice. Even the box lights up.
the light comes down. It's pretty cool. No one knows anything. Serious. So you tell no one we saw nothing. It's like Vegas. I know. It looks awesome.
I love the light on the box.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta do a hand shot.
Yeah, get it from, yeah, that's good, Lisa. Get one of all in the front.
Yeah.
They deserve it. I don't want to eat like that.
No, I know. Yes, I know. I asked them about it.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
These I figured first.
No, I don't want to come in here watching a picture.
Unless they're coming.
With the weather the way it is. Almost 5,000. People don't care. Really nice. Really nice. Really nice.
Good job. Well done. Well done.
Congratulations.
Well done. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. Good job, ladies.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Here we go.
All right, well, we still have them here. Board members, does anybody have any comments or anything they'd like to share with the gymnastics team?
Me. Hey, girls. Girls.
Hi, girls.
Hello.
Oh, they're taking pretty, are you taking TikToks? Are there any comments from the board?
Yes.
Oh.
I just wanted to tell you how proud I am of you guys, and your perseverance throughout the years have been astounding, and this is the results of that, and I'm just amazed, and I'm really proud of you, and I wanted to congratulate you and the coaches and Ms. Souffle and all the parents, because you guys should be so honored and feel so good about this accomplishment, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Here, here.
You speak for all of us, Lisa.
Anyone else from the board? Okay. We will, if you students would like to stay, we are going to be in our public budget presentation, but I'll give you a minute if you'd like to exit, because, you know,
Can the liaison?
I understand, and our liaisons, you're welcome to depart.
Wouldn't you like to stay?
All right, don't get
I'm going to sit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Mike, you now.
And next up is the fun budget.
We should get wings. Like Board of Ed wings.
Our team board.
If we get board certification, we should get rings.
Oh, there you go.
So at this time, I'm going to turn it over
Up
to,
Hello, Dr. Bangio speaking. And the
I'm going
room
to
is
turn it
empty.
over to Ms. Shoning. She is going to be reviewing our upcoming school budget.
I can't believe everybody left. This is like the best
And the
part.
floor is yours, Ms. Schoening.
Don't get nervous.
Oh,
Don't be nervous.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Tonight is the hearing on the budget for the 25-26 school year. So the presentation is broken down amongst 7 areas. Who is Mount Olive? Responsible budgeting, budget highlights, state aid, revenues and expenditures, the tax levy impact, and any questions anybody may have. So this slide is a history of the resident enrollment in the district. This is an annual count on October 15th every year, called the application for state school aid. This number represents the total number of students on roll on October 15th of each year. The enrollment for October 2025 is projected based on what we're anticipating in the district the end of August. Just as an aside, this is on the Division of Finance website, the Taxpayer's Guide to Educational Spending. The hyperlink is here that you can look at your leisure when you have nothing else better to do. But the state takes into consideration 21 cost indicators, which is an annual publication that gathers all the financial data that the school districts import from their annual audits, actual expenditures, adjusted budget, and future expenditures. So for the Taxpayer's Guide for 2024, when you click on this link, can I actually do this from here? I don't think I can.
Joe, could you click onto that one hyperlink there? There you go.
So when you click on this link, this is where you're brought, and to the right, where it says 2024 zipped files, you don't have to click on there. That has all the 21 cost indicators, and it's all organized by county and then by school district. So anybody can look at these files and see where their school district lays in that area.
Ms. Shoning, could you explain to the public as to how these schools are grouped? And when you start to look at the, if they want to start looking at the actual file, are they organized by size?
The districts are organized by their grade level, whether it's K-6, K-8, K through 12, and then it goes by the size of the district, up to about 600 students, up to 1,200, and then it goes up to 1,800, and then over 3,500 plus, which is where Mount Olive stands.
Joe, would you mind going back to the other? Thank you.
So just briefly gathering some data from this guide, you will see here the columns are the 21-22 actual amounts and where the groups rank within the district. So for example, Mount Olive is a K-12 district, over 3,500 students, and there are 96 districts that fit in this data. So when you're looking at this data, you will see, for example, total classroom instruction for, and we'll go toward the 23-24 school year. The district is spending $11,938 per pupil, and out of 96 districts, and this is statewide, this isn't applicable to the county, this is in the entire state of New Jersey, all counties, Mount Olive is 58 out of 96. So
96 being the highest spending, correct?
Moving down from that, total support services, 78 out of 96. Total administrative costs were 76 out of 96. And in the administrative cost item, there are 4 areas. There is the principal's office and all costs assigned for that. There is the superintendent's office. There is the business office, and there is the technology administrative office. So all of those costs are deemed administrative. After that, we have total operation of maintenance and plant. This is our custodial, our maintenance, everything for the facilities. Mount Olive is 81 out of 96. Extracurricular costs, we're 94 out of 96. So do you want to?
So one of the things that we wanted to point out is out of those 96 schools, we are the 3rd highest spending on where it counts, which is ensuring our students have great opportunities. And certainly the presentation before this one certainly is a testament to the dedication of the school district of ensuring that learning does not only happen in the classroom, that it really extends to so many different facets. And certainly that's seen through all the accolades our students have achieved, whether it be in ROTC, whether it be in our honor society, on the field, off the field, on the stage. So certainly we are very proud of that a number that we represent across that state.
And can I mention that too, Dr. Banjo? Because I did want to comment. I can wait till the end, but since you brought it up there, I think it's exactly what you said. It also goes to show our community the problems, quote unquote, that we're having with space for all these, because we do want to provide our students with a lot of opportunities to dip their toes in the water, to find themselves, to see what they like, what they don't like, and to move forward. And we're always open. Like gymnastics is a perfect example. They came less than 8 years ago, said they wanted to start a gymnastics program. The board got on board, and it took off from there. So I do want to say, even though it's high, it's really, in my opinion, is one of the places where it counts. So great job.
Absolutely.
For everybody, you and previous superintendents and boards of eds.
And last but not least, legal costs, where Mount Olive ranked 67 out of 96. So obviously, the higher the ranking, the more the district spends on each one of those cost areas.
And a shout out to Mr. Stansberry for that too. I would be remiss not saying if he didn't have his proverbial hand in that pot of making sure our kids had opportunities.
So I think people have heard about the user-friendly budget, which is posted to the district's website. Joe, can you click on that hyperlink? So if you go to the Mount Olive website, you will find the user-friendly budget posted under, what happened to my link? Under budget and financial. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see budget. And if you click on budget, you'll see the user-friendly budget for the 25-26 year, and then all the ones prior. So this is, if you saw in the paper the advertised budget, this is what you will see in the newspaper. And this is for your viewing pleasure on the website as well. Can you go? So this document here, these are the advertised per pupil cost calculations, and they go from 22-20, they start with 22-23 actual costs, our 23-24 actual costs, our current year original budget, and our revised budget, and our proposed budget for next year, so you can see the differences there. And this is in the same format from the prior slide with the cost indicators. This is just taking more data from that document and comparing last year the data with the proposed budget. So based on those cost indicators for classroom instruction, their proposed budget is increasing by $55 a student. Our support services is increasing by $312. Our total administrative costs are flat. Our operations and maintenance of plant decreased by $28. And that's basically because in the 24-25 budget, we have specific projects that are one-time cost indicators, and they're not going to benefit future years. So that's why the cost went down a little bit. Our total extracurricular costs down by $5, and our legal costs are down by $2 in the proposed budget.
It's a big savings there.
So just some quick facts on how Mount Olive is responsible in their budgeting. Little brain. So obviously revenues have to equal expenditures, and it's very hard to do when we can only increase our tax levy by 2%. Right now, as was proposed in our original budget and for tonight, the tax levy has an increase of 3.88% with allowable adjustments. For this year, we're using a healthcare adjustment of $1.4 million. The district qualified for 1.8, but we did not have to use that entire amount. So the district has decided to save that difference, and it will be put to future use, which is called cap banking eligibility. Because the district did not raise their tax levy to their absolute cap, the amount that's underneath cap, you're allowed to bank it for future use. Our state aid, as we discussed, was reduced by $340,000, and we can use fund balance from our savings that the district does every year to save for the future. So for expenditures, we had to do need versus want. Do you really need this, or do you want it? So we had our administrators and budget developers come up with a list of the needs versus the wants. And of course, we have our fixed costs. Nothing increases by 2%. Salaries are over 3%, medical and dental, 12%. Just salaries and benefits make up about 80% of our budget. Utilities, projected increase of 15%. We have tuition contracts with other local and private districts. We have our contracts with Morris County School of Technology for our vocational programs and our academy programs, and our special education private schools. Those are all over 3%. And then we have state mandate unfunded costs like our pension obligation, which in this budget is a $181,000 increase. And just to be clear, and I wanted to make it bigger, but I couldn't fit it, the district has not cut any programs or services. We still maintain a small class size to ensure quality instruction and services for all of our students.
You're here.
This is just a fact sheet. This is a document taken off of our budget submission, and the first highlighted, I can't read it, so I'm sure you can't read it. The
Increase in healthcare costs?
the line, don't show off now with your young eyes. The increase in healthcare cost is the $1.8 million that we qualified. And line F says the tax levy cap, which is the maximum amount we could have increased our tax levy. And if we did, that increase, I believe, was about 4.34% at the time, but we did not want to go that high. So our tax levy on line G is $81,300,000. And on the way bottom, it says banked cap available for 26-27. So the district has generated over the past couple of years almost $1.1 million in savings that we can put forth for next year. Budget highlights. We're in year 3 of our technology plan. We're replacing all end-of-life Chromebooks, laptops, desktops, purchase of Promethean boards. We were able to purchase a lot of the items out of 25-26 in the current year because of available funds. We had the same situation with the year before with just saving and shopping for the best possible prices. We were available to save next year's budget and pay it out of this year. Facilities and capital, which I'll show on a separate slide, is a little over $4 million. Transportation, within our capital budget, we are putting in a new facility for the staff. All of our salaries includes all proper contractual negotiated contracts increases, and we have new positions all across the district. Capital projects. This is just about the same document that I presented at the preliminary budget. There are a few items that are highlighted in red because the dollar amounts changed, not the actual project. Mainly, the boiler project at the high school went up a little bit because we were ascertaining more quotes and trying to be more close to the vest, which we were able to. We have 2 direct install projects on the horizon, one at the high school and one at Sand Shore. And in the preliminary budget, we were going to pay off each project in full, but due to other items that needed more attention, we decided to put in the annual amount, which, if you remember, when we passed these resolutions, these were at 0% interest to be paid over 5 years. So the district is not incurring any additional funds, interest costs, by reducing it. It's 0 interest to the district. The modular office went up by about $21,000 after we were reviewing our costs. And the PA system at the middle school, the original budget was $200,000. You'll see it's increased to $550,000. And that's because the system in this building is well over 20 years old, and we've had 2 vendors come out now to do a thorough inspection on it, and it requires all new wiring, a brand new system. And that, of course, is paramount for the safety and security of our students.
Quick question is showing on the Mount Olive boiler, it says direct install project. I
Yes.
assume that's the HVAC?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I just want to make sure, only because you had it on Sand Shore. I just want to make sure everyone understands that. We just left off HVAC, that's all.
Yep. Oh, yes, thank you.
That's all, no problem. Yeah, at the high school. Yep.
Personnel related, this was a slide from our preliminary budget. We are including 13 new positions.
And certainly, as we pointed out during the preliminary budget, a lot of it really goes back to the students. That was really what we wanted to focus upon. So a lot of them deal with maintaining our academic excellence initiative, in which we are hiring a full-time G&T teacher at the elementary schools, which is exciting. We're adding to our multilingual staff also at the elementary, as well as introducing an entire new team for 6th grade to ensure the transition into the middle school from the elementary, which we know is such a strategic time for our students, as well as hiring an English teacher at the high school, as well as an in-class resource teacher as well. Another part of our instruction for our students is also dealing with their student well-being and development. This is where we're hiring an additional social worker, as well as an interventionist at CMS, as well as a number of special ed related roles, including a new ASD classroom over at Sand Shore. It requires a teacher, as well as additional aides, an ABA therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and a new child study team member. So certainly when we look at it, we're really ensuring that we support both the academic, social, emotional, and also development needs of our students across this district. I'll keep talking. Certainly, as we pointed out in our preliminary budget, we also pay a lot of attention to our curriculum work. We are looking at revamping our ELA curriculum from a K-8 perspective, as well as looking both our math instruction and curriculum at both the elementary and middle school, with continued professional development through Conquer Math, that it's going to be extended into grades K through 3. Currently, it is starting at grade 4 all the way through the high school, as well as new resources for our multilingual students, and well as more targeted instruction for our staff, which is really critical. We recognize that staff have different needs, developmentally as where they are in their career, as well as with the role that they play in the district. So we really want to ensure that the PD provided to them is what they need.
This slide is an 11-year history of state aid. I had this in our presentation from last year, so I just increased it another year. You can see the history of our state aid, and for this year, obviously, last year, we had $5.1 million increase, and this current year, we had a reduction of $340,000, which, as we discussed earlier at our preliminary meeting, when we were first developing the budget, we had guidance that we should plan for a 3% reduction in state aid, which was about $1.1 million. So we were quite ecstatic when we only had a $340,000 reduction, because we did not want to cut anything out of this budget. So these are the top 5 districts that I had this last year when we received a little over $5 million. We were looking at the districts in Mount Olive just for a comparative purpose. So you can see the 5 districts of what they received in 24-25 in comparison to 25-26. You can see there's really no correlation at all. And on next slide, we'll talk about state aid. On this hyperlink here, if you click on that link, you'll see here, this brings you to school finance. This takes you to the total state aid for 25-26 by, you have it by total by county, you have it by school district, so you can look at any district in the state of what they received in state aid. Again, if you have nothing better to do and want to look at that, have at it. Okay, thanks, Joe. So this is analysis of state aid. This presentation will be up on the website. I know it's kind of difficult to look at. I did change the data. Anyway.
I think we keep, if we don't go over it, they still have the link to it.
Okay, but basically what drove our state aid last year and this year is what's called equalization aid. And equalization aid is based upon the average, upon the wealth of the school district. The town, the state takes the tax returns of the citizens in the district, and that's what they compare it to. The more wealthy a district is deemed, the less equalization aid they receive. So on this spreadsheet that I'm sorry you can't see, I'll make sure it's accessible, and I'll try to put it on the presentation so you can look at it. Our equalization aid went down. Last year, our valuations of the district income had increased over 8%, and this year it decreased by 4%. Part of that reason is the state took 3 years of property values and income, years of 2022, 23, and 24. They took those 3 years and they averaged them. And overall, Mount Olive saw a slight district in their equalization aid of about roughly 6%. But at the same token, what they deem as categorical aids, which is our transportation aid, our special education aid, and our security aid, all went up quite a bit. And then what happens is when they take the difference and they deem what the local fair share is of the district, that's how your state aid is calculated. I'm not going to go through this. These are all of our general fund revenues, starting with our audited numbers from 23-24, our revised budget for current year, and what our proposed budget is. And you'll see the difference. Overall, our general fund revenues have an overall increase of about 0.8%. Toward the bottom, I'll just emphasize the fund balance, which is the district savings that the district uses to put forth for next year. So we are withdrawing funds from capital reserve, from our maintenance reserve, and from our fund balance, from our audit, and then also from our current year budget to put forth to save as a revenue support for next year. Our expenditures overall have gone up by 0.78%, which is a testament to the team really scrubbing the numbers and really budgeting and averaging the needs versus wants. continuing our expenditures. Special revenue are grants, our local, federal, and state grants. You will see there's quite a difference between our revised budget and our proposed budget, and that's because the directive we had received was to budget about 75% of your current year allocation. So that's what we did. We're hoping to be fully funded, as is every other district, but we need to be conservative, and those items that we usually spend in our special revenue budget, we had to include it in our general fund because we could not cut those programs and services. These federal projects have been in Mount Olive and statewide for many, many years, so districts really rely on these funds. Debt service, you will see that debt service has gone down. It's because our debt is falling off. One of our bonds is falling off this year, so you will see a slight decrease in that. And just showing an average, the past 3-year tax levy, 23-24, the tax levy was a little bit under 6%. Last year, with that $5 million flux in state aid, we raised the tax levy only 0.27 over the allowable amount. And for current year, we're raising it 3.88%. Quick calculation, I won't go through it. You can see of how the tax levy is calculated. And this is, how much is this going to cost the taxpayer? The district had new commercial properties enter into the district, so you'll see that the net valuations increased by 5%, which fortunately decreased the tax rate. So when you apply the tax rate to the average assessed home, which in Mount Olive is $325,000, I have the first column as the current tax rate and what is proposed, and you'll see the annual increase or decrease, and same for per month. So you'll see that on an average home of $325,000, taxes are going down $160 annually. Any questions? If, again, this will be posted to our website, and if you have any further questions or new questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to discuss, since I do this all the time.
Do we have any questions from the board? Dr. Giordano.
I would just like to thank you, Ms. Schoening and Dr. Bangia. Like I said the last time, this is not easy to do. It's very little of it's understood by John Q. Public. Even so, a little bit, being on the board for as long as I have been, and you learn something new every budget presentation and what changes at the state, and that's where your expertise comes in. So excellent job. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Schoening, just before we go, or Dr. Bangia, or finish up the budget piece of it, can you just explain, I know on here the number looks large, but the purpose and the real importance of the public address system for the middle school? I think there's definitely like a misperception of what that, the purpose of it or the use of it. It's more than just the speakers. So there's definitely a major security purpose for that, right?
Across the board, certainly that's how we communicate throughout the building. So if that system is not properly working, we can't get a hold of certain classrooms, certain locations, and certainly because the platform is original to the building, it required a total overhaul. We had anticipated perhaps that we can save the wiring and the background of things. However, when we start to get into more our quotes received, that we wanted to do it right. As you know, as a district, we're the safest in the county, and we are not going to jeopardize that by, cutting corners. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it right in order to ensure that the communication within the building, as well with other buildings, is going to be maintained from that new system.
And that's also into the classes, so the staff has access then to the main offices.
Yeah. And then also, since this building was first built, the students are in rooms that I don't think administration had really anticipated back then. So there are rooms where there's no communication. So in the case of emergency, students in that room, we need to be able to get to them, so.
Are the speakers going to be on the outside of the building as well with that, Ms. Showing?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? No? Well, welcome, Mr. Gephardt. And seeing none, we can go on. So thank you for everything. We can go on to the next presentation.
Very short presentation.
I'm going to, just for you, Dr. Giordano, I am going to go lightning speed. No, I won't, because
Oh, should we have stayed there?
tonight's
Just saying.
presentation is accumulation of a year's worth of work, not only for those seated at this table, but individuals across this district. I am excited. I am pleased to announce the final strategic plan for the 25 through 2030 school year. Before we begin, I know certainly those who are at home are questioning what exactly is the strategic plan. Well, quite simply, it is our blueprint of what we're going to be doing for the next 5 years. It's exactly our process, our goals. What do we find important? What do we believe is valuable? And how are we going to achieve that to ensure the continued success of our students and staff? A key thing I also want to point out about our strategic plan is it is a living document. So certainly what we have on paper right now may be evolved at the end of next school year, because we want to ensure that what we thought would happen in April of 25 is to continue what we need in perhaps April of 26. The entire strategic plan is going to be emailed to the entire school community tomorrow, but what I'm going to provide right now is a basic overview of what's included in there. Certainly when we talk at the global level, we looked at developing a mission statement, which really articulates our core purpose as a school district. We talked about our values, what are our beliefs and principles that shape our culture, shapes our behavior and priorities as a school community. We also developed about 4 goals that provide us direction and which allows us to be evaluated and looked upon if whether we achieve those goals. Each goal also has a set of vision statements as well as objectives, and certainly most importantly, action steps, because certainly goals are wonderful to have on paper, but we want them to come to reality. Just to let you know, who does this plan represent? It's really interesting. People don't recognize how large our school community is. Certainly at the macro level, people do know we have 6 buildings, 4 elementary, 1 middle, and 1 high school, but people don't recognize we have a little over 1,000 employees who work for the school district. Mount Olive as a town covers about 32 square miles, so it is rather large school community. And right now we are hovering a little over 4,800 students. And what's really so wonderful about our school district is how completely diverse we are. If you look at our race and ethnicity breakdown, we have a number of people coming from all different walks of life. We have students who come from a white background, Hispanic, Asian, Black, African American, multi background, as well as Native Americans. So we are representing a very rich, diverse community here. Of those students, about 5% are English language learners, and I think I pointed this out in an earlier meeting. That has almost doubled in the past couple of years. So while 5% may look low, it is certainly on a growing trend, as you can also see from our budgetary needs. We have 47 languages that are spoken across this district, which is incredible. Just to let you know, the top 6, English being number 1, followed by Spanish, Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, and Arabic. So certainly we are global from ocean to ocean, as we like to say it. As I shared during our special education presentation, I believe it was last meeting, we have about 18% of our population who have an IEP, as well as about 23% of our students are qualified as economically disadvantaged. So when you look at it, this plan is representing a very diverse group of students and community members across Mount Olive. Just to let you know, how did we get there? This process started back last March, which we engaged in a stakeholders meeting in which we invited the public to attend to really engage to understand what this process is going to entail. From there, we actually solicited the insight and interest of community members across this community, not only within the school community, in which we invited them to sit on our core planning team. And that is where we start to really dive deep into the data. And that work was really hard working. So that group worked from March all the way through October, looking at surveys that we committed, looking at, interviews, all these data points in order to really understand where we currently as a district are, but most importantly, where do we want to get to? So that took a great deal of work. Certainly by October, this past earlier 2024, we added another group of individuals called the implementation team. So the core team was comprised of diverse stakeholders, parents, students, staff members, administrators, people who just lived in the community who may not directly be parents. They were sat on that core committee, and that's where they developed those goals and that mission statement. And what happened from there is the implementation team picked up this past November and worked through about March to really develop how we're going to put this into action, and that's known as our action plan. And as you know, I'm sitting before you here in April of 25, sharing that finalized plan. Just to let you know, that people involved in this wonderful process, obviously a great kudos to the Board of Education for having the vision and involvement in order to understand the importance of having a strategic plan to guide us in the work that's so important with our students and staff. Also, the wonderful administration that we do have in the district, and this just looks at the central office. These are our core planning team members. As I indicated, this is our diverse stakeholders. As I said, there are parents, students, administrators, lay people from the community who are all organized, working towards these 5 different areas to not only identify where we currently are, but where we also want to get to. And then the last group that really worked on the action plans were primarily administrators, but these administrators hold various roles throughout the district. So not only were they building-based individuals, we also have curriculum specialists, we also have district-level employees, so we got a really wide gamut to ensure that the work that's required to be done over the next 5 years are within the work that these team people are looking to do within their roles in the community. So what exactly is our mission statement? Our new mission statement, as entails, is empowering our school community to succeed in a diverse, dynamic world. Our really focus here is that our students are not being prepared for 13th grade. It really isn't. So what we want to make sure that our students are always growing and learning, and we're affording them those learning opportunities, both in and outside of the classroom, for them to be successful. I don't want to dive too much into this. You'll get this more information in email, but those are the 4 different areas in which we as a school district and strategic plan felt was important for us to focus upon. So when we talk about teaching and learning, our ultimate goal is to foster innovative learning experiences that equip students for a dynamic world by optimizing time and space while empowering both staff and students to achieve their full potential. So certainly that is our goal, to really make sure that not only where they learn, but how they learn is going to be evolving with the times. Closely related to that is also wellness. So the area of community and wellness, our goal is going to be create a safe and inclusive school community that celebrates diversity, fosters mutual respect, and promotes well-being through collaborative efforts. A key word here is collaborative. We do recognize that, we're not the ones who are going to be making all the decisions and actions. That's why not only was this process collaborative, but the work we expected to be doing moving forward is going to be done in that same fashion. From the leadership and governance lens, our goal is going to be cultivating a culture of transparent leadership by ensuring clear and consistent communication and collaboration with stakeholders. So once again, that key word is collaboration, but also maintaining our expanded cumulative aspirations. And I certainly believe we started on that path with the launch of our new app the other week, and I hope everyone downloaded it. And finally, just a testament also to the previous presentation that was done by Ms. Schoening, obviously finance and facilities is a career structure because it's great that we have these ideas. We also need the money and the structures in place in order to make these dreams come true. So certainly from a goal perspective, what we're aiming to do is ensure a transparent, efficient, and accountable budgeting process that meets the district's growing needs. And it goes back to that key word there is growing. We are very fortunate that unlike a lot of communities around us in which has declining enrollment, we do not have that problem. But certainly as a growing community, we have to do what to do with not as much money in some cases as we saw with state funding. So as you know from our budget, we are trying to be creative, but certainly going back to making sure whatever our actions are, they're done in a transparent manner. So what I would like to leave the public and the board with, that certainly this is not the end of a journey. This is the beginning in which we're going to be working together to show our children that their dreams, potential, and their success are our highest priority. So once again, I would like to thank the board for their leadership and their attention to making sure that this plan was priority. And also thank you for the rest of the community for their involvement. And I do expect that, we are having a superintendent spotlight on the 14th of May, which is a Wednesday, in which we're going to be going over this plan in detail. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone from the board have any questions or comments? No? All right. We're going to finish out section 5 and then move back up to the approval of our minutes and then continue from there for the order of the meeting. With that, do we have any board, subcommittee, and parent-teacher association liaison reports? I'll take any parent associations. The mic is open. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
I feel like I'm super close this time.
There.
I'm like, wow, hi everyone. I'm Amy Marini. We're
You're good.
all right. I'm one of the co-leaders for the Special Education Parent Advisory Group. I know I say it every time, but I figured just to make sure that those that are watching on YouTube, that might be the first time, we are a district collaborative parent-led organization that's code-driven by the Special Education Code of New Jersey. My list is short this time. I did get some feedback, and I will be sending you guys some of the links from SEAC when I get the next set of links. And I'll try to include the last 2 sets as well, so that way you guys can see the links that come out. A lot of them are the special education broadcasts that come out, as well as some of the different things that I rambled on about last time. So we did have our last meeting on April 8th. It was a co-led group, if you would, where I've asked the district to bring some of to highlight different things within the district's special services. And so we discussed like ESY dates, and we discussed some basic stuff that we've talked about in the past, but they actually had Michelle Lockwood formerly known as New Jersey Coalition for Inclusive Education, now it's known as All In, and so she talked about what they do, how they function within the district, and all of the different aspects of inclusive education and what that looks like. And then also we had really great conversation that I point to you, Dr. Bangia, because we had conversation at President's Council about how some of the PTAs could be more inclusive in their practices, and so I brought that to All In and asked if they had resources for the parent groups to be able to help them navigate how they could create more inclusive settings for some of their school-wide activities and stuff like that. We also talked about the Future Fair, Dr. Bangia's Superintendent Spotlight, the Mount Olive Cares Fairs on April 30th. I have collaborated with multiple CPAGs across the state, and I will be sending out shortly. There's a presentation that we collaborated with on May 8th from an advocate. Her name is Mary Beth Gilliand, on becoming your child's best advocate and IEP tips for parents throughout the school year. And then our meeting which is a parent-only meeting, is on May 13th. And we actually were able to get the special education attorney that we were supposed to have back in March to come, Lily Caparosa, and she'll be reviewing the rights and protections of students with disabilities. And then we discussed the climate survey and encouraged everybody to complete it. And that was the end of the meeting. Any questions?
Do we have any questions from the board?
Nope, we're good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Do we have any other reports? Any from the board? Any? No? Okay. We will move on then. Oh, sorry, just moving back up. I have nothing for President's report. With that, we'll move back up to the approval of our minutes. Ms. Fenton will take a motion for the approval of the minutes 2.1 and 2.2.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes 2.1 to 2.2.
Second.
Any questions or comments? No? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Fenton?
Yes.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes.
Mrs. Aquino?
Abstain on both?
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Abstain?
Mrs. Narcisse?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Orzillo?
Yes.
And we'll proceed with the order of the meeting into confidential session. We'll take a motion for confidential session.
So moved.
Second.
And any questions? And be it resolved that the board meet in confidential session for the purpose of discussing negotiations, personnel, matters of attorney-client privilege, pending litigation, confidential people matters, we have that twice, real estate matters, and be it further resolved that the matters discussed in confidential session be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken. We are now in closed session, and when we return, we'll move on to item 6. to session, and we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Fenton?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo?
Here.
All right, we are going to move over to public comments on action items. Member of the community may comment on any action item prior to board discussion. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated. And the mic is open. This is on action items. Do we have like a ding ding? All right, seeing none, we will close that out. And we are going to go and make a little bit of a different move. We are actually going to go for a motion for consent agenda to approve items 7.1 all the way through, I'm scrolling down, to 11.3.
Second.
Do we have I need an initial motion.
No,
Dr.
motion that.
Giordano.
I second it then.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, we are going to take the motion from Dr. Giordano to move action items 7.1 all the way down to 11.3, and Ms. Fenton made a second. Do members of the board have any questions or comments on any of the items listed on our agenda from 7 all the way down to section 11? No? Okay, no.
None for me.
None from anyone else? All right, we'll take a roll call, Ms. Schoening, for all of the items.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Yes.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Abstain from anything that has to do with Christian Humphrey, and yes to everything else.
Mr. Orzillo?
Yes.
All right, and with that, we are going to open the mic back up to public comments. Students, parents, employees, and community members may comment on any item of interest pertaining to the Mount Olive School District. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated, and the mic is open. And this is as it relates to Mount Olive Township Board of Ed. All right. Again, we have nobody for public comments. Okay. We will move on to old business. Members of the board may comment on any item or topic that was previously discussed. And do we have anyone for old business? Nope. Okay. Anyone for new business? Members of the board may introduce any new item or topic for discussion for the board to consider. All right. None. And moving along, we are moving to board and administrative comments. Members of the board may comment on any item of interest pertaining to the Mount Olive School District. And we'll start at the other end there. Dr. Giordano.
No comments, Madam President.
And Ms. Melendez.
No comments.
And Ms. Aquino.
I do have one, only because Mr. Bosch came in here earlier to remind us, and none of us did that. So, middle school play, Lion King Jr. is coming next week, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you. That's
Yep.
all.
And Ms. Fenton.
No comments.
All right, I have no comment, but other than to go see the play, welcome back from spring break. And Mr. Orzillo.
That's me. I just want to thank Ms. Schoening and her team for the budget thing, and Dr. Bench. Everybody does a great job. Thanks.
And we got Ms. Figuera
I concur.
She concurs.
and Mrs. O'Neill.
I agree, and we went to the ROTC Awards, and congratulations to all the cadets that won their awards, and to Chief Master Sergeant Bedell. He did a great job with them. That was it.
They're so great. Dr. Banji, anything?
I think I'm good.
All right, wow. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn our meeting. Do we have a second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
We are done. Thank